Hey guys, this is by far the hardest video I have to make every year. Today I'm going to be telling you my top 10 favorite songs of 2023. If you want to check out my video last week, I explained my top 10 favorite albums of 2023. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It took me so long to make this list and I kept changing it, but I think now I finally have a good list that I'm happy with. I'm going to start off with my honorable mentions. It was so hard for me to narrow down my top 10 and I had to include some songs to at least give a shout out to. These are my honorable mentions and these are in no particular order. So I've got My Bad by the Chainsmokers and Shenseea, Drifting by Tiesto, Baby Again by Skrillex, Fortet, and Fred Again, Spellbound by Dirty Palm and Bad Reputation, both by Tiesto, 21 Savage, and Bia, Without You by Lloyiso, Mona Lisa by Dominic Fike, Adore You by Fred Again, and I cannot pronounce this guy's name. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, I'm sorry. Body Moving by Calvin Harris and Eliza Rose, and Brightest Light by Seven Lions and Daughter. Now let's get into my official top 10 favorite songs of 2023. At number 10, I have Real Love by Martin Garrix and Lloyiso. There honestly wasn't a ton of new Martin Garrix music this year. I made a reaction video for this song. If you want to check out my full thoughts, I'll leave a link to that video in the description. This was just meant to be a radio single, nothing super crazy, and it is very pop sounding. It actually reminds me a lot of Summer Days, but basically what I really love about Real Love is the instrumental. I really love how it's real instruments. It's got a little bit of everything. There's bass, strings, drums, guitar. So I love how it doesn't sound super electronic. It does sound very real and raw and natural. It's got a nice human touch to it. It's a really happy, upbeat, uplifting song. I love the piano chords and the bass line is so groovy. Lloyiso does a really good job with the vocals on this one and I really like the lyrics. And there's a lot of fun things sprinkled throughout the song that makes it really interesting. Even though it is a radio-friendly pop song, I think it does have a lot to offer, a lot of variety. At number 9, I have Way Back by Skrillex, Pink Pantheress, and Trippie Redd. I am a fan of Skrillex now, but I'm not really a fan of Pink Pantheress or Trippie Redd, but I really think they fit well together on this song. I think their voices really complemented each other. They both have a similar soft sounding tone to them. I'm not a huge drum and bass fan. I really like it even though I'm not a big fan of the genre. I felt the lyrics were pretty good, although I feel like Pink Pantheress's verse, maybe there was a little too much talking in there. I kind of felt it was like too many words and lyrics crammed into one verse, but I think she does pull it off well. That would be my only small criticism of the song. It's really short. I wish it was a little longer, but that's what makes me replay it so often. It keeps you interested. It keeps you wanting to play it again. I also love the instrumental break towards the end of the song. When that fun lead comes in, I really like the sound design in the lead. It's just something fun and different I wasn't expecting in the song on the first listen. At number 8, I have Leave Me Like This by Skrillex and Bobby Raps, another Skrillex song on the list. I really do love Quest for Fire, so of course I had to have a song from that album in this video. Leave Me Like This is not even my favorite song off of the album. Butterflies is my favorite song, but it did not come out in 2023, so I decided to pick Leave Me Like This instead because that song did come out this year, and it kind of kicked off the Quest for Fire era in a way. The lead single when the album rollout was starting in January 2023. It was one of the highlights of the album. I really feel like this song is creative and very unique. Lots of sounds and styles that I haven't heard before in this song. My favorite thing about it is the bass, of course. The bass line is so crazy and it kind of has that A-B thing going on in the drop. I really like that variety, especially the first few times I listened to it. Like, there was so much to enjoy. So I think the bass line is what makes the song really fun to listen to. Good lyrics, good vocal performances too, but again, my favorite part is the bass. I feel like this song really focuses on that, and that's what I love about it. At number 7, I have Desire by Calvin Harris and Sam Smith. I made a reaction video to this if you want to see my full thoughts. I am a really big Calvin Harris fan, but I'm not a fan of Sam Smith, and I felt like Sam Smith didn't really go over the top on this song. His vocal performance was kind of just okay. It's something you haven't heard before in a Sam Smith song, so I think the focus was more on the instrumental. I'm not even really a big fan of trance. There's only a handful of trance songs that I like, and this one is one of them. I really like this style that a lot of artists and DJs and producers are doing this year. They're bringing back that old 90s or 2000s trance style into this new music, so that's definitely a trend I've been seeing this year. Calvin Harris has definitely ran with that this year with songs like Miracle and this song Desire. Honestly, I do prefer Desire. I feel like I really vibed with this one a little bit more. I really love the drop in this song, even better than Miracle. I feel like the bass line was better. I think the lead in the drop had a really unique sound to it. It's kind of like a flute, but it has a little bit of an extra flair to it. Just something I haven't heard before. I was drawn to the instrumental way more than the vocals, and with the really catchy and fast-paced bass line, along with that really cool lead in part of the drop, I just found myself really liking it more and more, even though I'm not a big fan of trance. At number 6, I have No Going Back by Drove. Drove is super underrated. I have talked about them on my channel before. Drove is now signed with Sony. They used to be signed to Martin Garrix's label Stamped Records, and this song was a part of their first EP that was under Sony, and I feel like their sound has definitely evolved. The EP is called Take Me Somewhere. I really recommend checking it out. A lot of their songs on the EP have a 4 on the floor beat, but for this song they wanted to make something a little bit different, and so the drum pattern is different, and that's what makes it really interesting and not boring, so I really like the drums in this song. This song is perfect for road trips. Well, all Drove songs are perfect for road trips. It's kind of in their name, Drove. I love the chords too. They're very emotional sounding, and this was definitely one of the more relatable songs to me. Getting lost, no going back, making memories, those words are in the lyrics, so I did play this song a lot on road trips. I just related to it a lot in that way. The sound design, it really speaks to me. The chords have this really like vintage, old, nostalgic feel to them. I felt the drop was just a little bit lacking. I felt like it was missing a little something, but I still overall really like it. So that's why it's at number 6, kind of in the middle. At number 5, I have Can't Stop Me Now by Dylan Francis and Will K. I know Will K from a few collabs that he's done with Julian Jordan and Drove, so I am familiar with Will K. So I figured I would like this song. I feel like Will K has a lot to do with the drums and the overall rhythm of the song. I feel like it's a good combination of Will K's sound, Dylan Francis's sound, and also just house in general, like a club house kind of feel. It's got those super catchy piano chords and a really groovy bass line, and it's overall pretty fun and bouncy as well. It is really simple but also very catchy. It's got really great sound design overall and some really cool effects, and I also really like the melody, although I feel like the bass is really what makes the song what it is. Heavy emphasis on the bass, and I think the melody of the bass is really great as well. That's the part that really hooked me and made me love the song. At number 4, I have Yesterday by Tiesto. This song was kind of like a bonus track from Drive. I don't even really think it's the best song from Drive in terms of quality and overall production. It is kind of simple and basic. I think what makes me really like the song is how much I can relate to it, especially in the pre-chorus. The pre-chorus is my favorite part of the song, honestly. I just really love the chords and the lyrics in that part. The lyrics mention wanting to be taken back to yesterday, and so that's what I really felt, and that's what really made me like the song. Just overall nostalgia for life and the past. And I also really love the vocal. It's really dark and deep sounding, and I just really like that tone. So overall, I feel like the vocal and the chords make the song overall really emotional and nostalgic. And again, it does have a heavy emphasis on the bass, so the main part of the drop is that bass line when it comes in. I don't even think it's the best bass line ever. It's just kind of okay. I still like it, but again, what makes me love this song is the lyrics and the chords and the tone of the vocal. I know it's not like the best song ever, but I still think it's one of my favorites. We are now in my top 3. At number 3, I have Caught a Body by Lloyiso and Ty Dolla $ign. I actually first heard of this song from an Instagram ad. I normally just scroll past that kind of stuff, but I heard a little short, like 2-second snippet of this song, and I scrolled back up and I was like, ooh, what's this? Overall, honestly, it really is just a simple house song, but I feel like on a deeper level, it's way more interesting. Layers and textures, but you wouldn't really notice that kind of stuff on the surface level. Like, you're not meant to notice those things, which is why it overall seems pretty simple, but Lloyiso did put in a lot of small details. So much ear candy, like a lot of cool ad-libs and vocal chops. I really love the drums. That house club beat is what I love so much, but my absolute favorite thing about this song is the bass line, and I've probably said that so many times in this video. The bass in this song is kind of more like an 808, something that you would hear in rap music. So I love how smooth it is. The melody goes really nicely with the bass line. They really complement each other, and I'm not even a huge fan of the lyrics or the vocals. Like, I love the instrumental of this song. It's honestly such a banger. A lot of people, including myself, actually compare it to Pressure by Martin Garrix. So if you like Pressure and that kind of deep house style, then you would probably really like this song. At number 2, I have Afraid of the Dark by the band Camino. They put out their album this year called The Dark, and this song I feel like is kind of like the title track to the album, and I feel like it has a lot to do with the overall theme of the album. This actually might also be the only non-EDM song on this entire list. This is my favorite song off of the album. I really love the drums, but they also have a lot of fun percussion sounds and a lot of background vocals that I think really help elevate the song. So overall, I think the production quality on the song is incredible. I'm pretty sure it was done with live instruments, so I do really appreciate songs that were made with live instruments, and this has a ton of them: drums, guitar, bass, and I think also Spencer did a really great job on the vocals as well. He was the lead singer for this song. I think this is definitely the grooviest song on the album, and I also really like that marimba kind of thing that comes into the chorus. It kind of actually leads into the chorus, which I think is really interesting. So that adds another fun melody to the chorus, another fun layer. I feel like the storytelling in this song is really great. The lyrics could kind of be meaning two different things. Like, you could take it literally, and then you could also think of it as a metaphor. There's different ways to interpret it and relate to it. And that leads us to number one. My number one top favorite song of 2023 is 10 by Fred Again and Jazzy. Just off of the first listen, I was hooked. When I got done listening to it, I was literally thinking I had just heard the best song in my entire life. Maybe I was being a little dramatic. I've slowly been becoming a really big fan of Fred Again throughout this entire year, and I feel like it really culminated with 10. If you think about it, 10 is a really simple song. There's not a whole lot going on, but I actually really like that. I think it helps with the overall vibe of the song, it being very simple and nostalgic feeling, and I really like the overall sound design. It overall has that old vintage feel to it, almost like that kind of vinyl sound, along with the house beat and that flute melody. The way it all comes together, I love how it feels. It's so warm. It kind of is repetitive overall, but I think there's a lot to it that still makes it really interesting and makes me want to listen to it again and again. There's a lot of variation even within the melody itself that makes it really interesting. A lot of nice textures and layering, all of the small details, even if you may not notice them. I think it really makes 10 a really amazing song. I even really like Jossy's vocals. It's got a really nice deep low tone to it. I like that deeper sound. It does repeat a lot throughout the song, but there's a lot of different effects on it in different parts of the song that again make it really interesting. It was my most played song of the year on Spotify, so of course it had to be in this video. So those were my top 10 favorite songs of 2023. I feel like I'm really happy with this list, even though it was so hard for me to make. And if you didn't see my video last week, I showed my top 10 favorite albums of the year, so go give that video a watch if you haven't already. In the comments, let me know your top 10 favorite songs of 2023, or if you just want to tell me a couple songs that you liked from this year, that's cool too. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!